name's Leslie. I am the owner and face of Matriarch Medicine, which is an herbal apothecary. And what we do here, what our vision has always been, is to bring people plant medicines that activate their ancestral memory. Because in doing so, that brings well-being and harmony to them and their family and their life and their loved ones. A lot of people are seeking something and they don't know what are they seeking. They just know that there's something missing. And that's where I was. That's where I started this entire journey. And this journey started years ago when I was, before I knew anything about anything, before I was aware of who I am and what I am, I went to the doctors the way they told me to do it. Everybody went to the doctors. Everybody had depression back in the day. It was cool to have depression, and I was one of those people. I say that being someone who's subscribed to that. I had clinical depression, I had ADHD, I had anxiety, I had a long list of diagnoses that I subscribed to. But one day, it was actually a few days, I forgot to take my antidepressant. And it ended up being 3 days in a row. And that was an accident completely. I just didn't have the time. And then on that third day, I went to go see a movie. And when I was in the movie, I cried for the first time in 6 months. I had not realized that, yes, this medication had made me not sad anymore, but it also made me nothing anymore. I wasn't alive. I wasn't tasting foods. I wasn't enjoying sex. I wasn't enjoying my child. I wasn't seeing colors. I just was existing. And, that day I decided, no, I'm not going to take them anymore. I would rather be a little blue than nothing. But I did say that I'm going to have to find another option. And within days, that's how the universe works. You ask and you shall receive. And I didn't know that then, but when I had made the decision to just turn away from Western medicine because it wasn't fulfilling what I was asking for it to do, when I decided that, I found plant medicine, or plant medicine found me through Instagram. And I did the obsessive searching, research, all this. As soon as I heard the word ayahuasca, I said, my entire reality already cracked. And I knew I was going to sit with this medicine. And I remember never feeling like it was a drug. I always felt like this was something to respect, something that was just like ununderstandable from the current perspective that I was in. But what I knew was that I was going to do this. I just didn't know how or when, because at the time I didn't have any kind of at all expendable money. So to go to Peru was not going to happen. And then I had a child, so I super didn't have time to, travel. So I remember Googling Texas ayahuasca, and I ended up finding a church that hosted shamans, and it was all just so aligned. And the price was $175 a night. And the woman who ran it, my beautiful shout out to Brooke, she said, I recommend 2 nights for your first time. And I said, okay, so $350. I definitely did not have $350 to spare. So that was in August, September, and I had to wait till March of the next year for my tax refund, because that's when you get a lot of money back. And as soon as that money hit, I scheduled the ceremony, and my entire life changed. Just completely did a 180, a 360. I changed. And I continued to sit with the medicines, and I got to know, I gained a lot of teachers along the way. Ayahuasca, peyote, kambo, bufo, mushrooms, hape, mambe, the feathers, all these things, this way of life, the 4 elements, death, birth, all of these natural cycles of life. And I realized this was what I was seeking. I was seeking not feeling alone. And I definitely knew I was not alone because I always had my breath. So the air's with me now. I always have my heartbeat, which is the fire. I always have my body, which is the earth. And I always have my blood, which is the water. And that, to some who have not seen the fact of that through their soul and through their third eye and through the vision of life, that may sound strange. But for me now, no one can ever take that truth from me, that I am not alone. And my ancestors are with me. I am them. They are in my blood, my body, my DNA, my breath. They are right here. And knowing that healed generations of pain, forward and back, here, there, across time in the universe. And all of these deeply rooted convictions and truths that I've now gained through the healing of the plants and the wisdom, and I've been able to help hundreds of people integrate their experience with these plants. And I just hold so much ancient wisdom. My DNA is so powerful, and my ancestry comes from the Celtics and the Druids and the beautiful women of the earth. And then all of that, the beauty of that, and I still couldn't pay my car payment. And I still couldn't figure out how to get enough money in my bank to be able to put my children in a sport if I wanted to. It was so much that I started, because I didn't have money, I started humbling myself and being okay with not having anything, with being so humble. And I valued humility because that was all I had. That was what I had to offer, was look at how amazing I am. And I have no money and I can't travel. I've never even thought about going out of the country. At the time, those were really, really powerful and useful beliefs. They held me together and they kept me strong and grounded as I was obtaining this wisdom from the universe. And when I was ready, I finally decided, as much energy as I have put into healing, I'm going to put into money. Because if I'm being honest, I really wish I had more money. I really do. I would love to be able to go travel. I would love to go to a retreat. I would love to be able to pay my car payment on time. I would love to put my bills on auto pay. I would love to be able to go to a restaurant and not look at the price. Like, super simple ideas. And when I admitted that, when I assessed where I was, and I was humble, and I said, I was humble, but I was honest. It's not humility, it's honesty. I was honest that I have no idea about money. No one in my life has ever been what I would consider rich. I have one family member that we all consider rich, and he works a lot, and then he also does some things that he's got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And I don't subscribe to that life, so that's not something that I could do. So I wanted to figure out, as much wisdom as I've obtained through the universe, I'm sure I can find wisdom about money. I'm sure there's a possibility. And so my partner Jorge and I, we came together with this truth that we don't understand money. How can we figure this out? And then ask and you shall receive. And mentorships came up. Bob Proctor found us through Instagram or YouTube, and we just started listening to him offhanded. I remember thinking that he was so wrong about a lot of what he was saying. Most of the time, though, I was confused when he was speaking. I would just listen to what he was saying, and none of it made sense. But I kind of loved that. I felt like, wow, this is stuff I've never heard before. It feels good. It doesn't make me feel bad. It doesn't make me feel like I'm judging myself, but it has a little bit of an expansive energy. Like, okay, maybe I could be something more than I thought I could be. And so we just listened to him over and over and over. We would listen to his YouTube channels, the videos, like anything that we could get our hands on from him. And it was all free content because we still hadn't mastered money. We were still learning about money. And it comes down to like 10 or 12 different concepts that you have to master to really like master it all and pull it all together. And they're universal laws. And, you know, I can't say I'm a master. No, well, that was an affirmation that I would use. I'm a master of all universal laws. That is a beautiful affirmation. So, you know, fast forward or rewind, whatever the right word is. So we are 5 months into this, and well, we're a couple months into this, and we're driving to California, and it's like a 2-day drive, and we're listening to Bob Proctor, and this woman comes on his videos, like someone he interviews, and her name is Kathleen Cameron. And she is talking about how she went from being a nurse, making like $4,000 a month with her income, the same, that's where I was, and making $1 million in 7 months. And I had never, ever even fathomed that I could be a millionaire. That wasn't even an idea for me. But then Bob was selling his course, and he said this woman took this course, and through this course she got this. And I said, okay, so if this is real, this woman, the interview was years old. So I found this woman, Kathleen Cameron, on Instagram, and I said, if this is real, she will still be flourishing today. Absolutely flourishing. She still was fantastic. So I'm like, okay, well, what is this course? What's going on? You know, she ended up being able to manifest her own $25 million company through like a 3-year span. And she went through, her story just was very similar to mine. At least energetically, it felt that way. And so I went to Bob first, and I purchased his like the cheapest package because I still didn't understand about any universal law. I just was like, okay, well, I'm going to buy this course and it's going to teach me. And I was going to make $1,000 monthly payments. I couldn't even pay my car payment. I don't know what I was thinking, but I ended up doing it, and I got 1 month's worth of content. And I remember downloading everything that I could download just in case I couldn't pay the bills. And then, you know, watching all the videos as fast as I could. And what a gift. I did receive so much from that, but it wasn't what changed for me. When I followed Kathleen Cameron, I ended up seeing that she started her own academy to teach the same material that Bob was teaching, but in a different way. And she taught it a little bit more spiritually, the way that my brain works. So I just started following Kathleen, and she was still alive. So Bob had transitioned a year before that. So all of his content was just replayed from the past. But Kathleen is here living and breathing in this current collective energy. So it was even more impactful for me. So I would go to her live events, and they were free online on Zoom. And just being in her energy, for anybody, you just are in someone's energy, and if you're open to receiving, you're going to match their energy. And that's the purpose, that's the point of being aware of who you're in the energy of, so that you can match your energy to people with one that inspires you to rise and to be a bigger and grander version of yourself. And that's exactly what Kathleen was for me. And it was really important to me that Kathleen was a mom, because there's just energetics behind that. And it's important that as a mom, I'm listening to the words of a mom, because they come from different perspectives of those of motherhood and those of not. And so I've just felt completely taken care of by the universe, and everything she had to teach me was it just made sense to me. And she ended up having a giveaway. So if you shared this live 3-day event, and whoever got the most people to sign up for it would win one of her courses that cost $4,444. And it was called Wealth from Within. And I knew that was my course. I knew that everything that she was teaching, I really understood, but I needed to do a deeper dive about money. Money was the one thing I really had no idea about. And so I shared this event on my Facebook and then on a couple groups that I had on Facebook, and I ended up winning it. And I took the course. As soon as I got it, I just started. And it was a live course, which is even more impactful. When you can take a course live with someone who is currently in the same collective energy as you, it will shoot you to your quantum leaps that you're looking for. And that's exactly what it did. She gave us books to read. She gave us activities to do, questions that made us really think. And it was a 4-week program, or 8 weeks, but 4 lessons, but whatever. There were books to read, and reading books, like this one right here, Money is God in Action. This is a super small book. This is like 20 pages long. But reading these books, it's like downloading an entire new technology inside of you. This book questions money is God in action. This connects money and God to be very similar energetics. And then you see that it is okay to have money, and you're doing God's work with money, and you can support more people with money in the name of God, or whatever divinity that you believe in. And for me, I just believe in the collective one energy, and that I am God, and it is within me, source. So it was like connecting that money is me, money is energy. I had never heard someone use this energetic energy. So I just, like a sponge, sucked it all up. And the biggest thing about this teaching is you have to embody the knowing. So you can write down all day long, you can journal all day long, you can, gather information and read all the books. But if you're in your now moment and you're being presented with a decision, and you make a decision as the you now, you will always get the results as the you now. But when you're in this decision and you make the decision as the you that you want to be, that's the embodiment. Whether you're scared, whether it's foolish, whether it's delusional, if anything that's going to hold you back, that is the embodiment, and that is the quantum leap. And so what I did, which is what I tell everybody who asks me, what did you do to become a millionaire? How did this happen? What happened? I mean, there's a year worth of study that I can, give to you, but there were a few action steps, and I'll give you the first one, which was I ended up sitting down one day and I wrote down, what would I do with $10,000? Because they say that the universe loves a reason. Like, what are you going to do with that money? So I wrote down on a list, to the dollar. I could have even made it like 12,000, 13,000, but it ended up being a list of all of my bills. It was people that I owed. It was my car payment, which was 2 or 3 months behind. It was all of my electricity. It was fixing my car windshield. It was all the things that just are in your mind. Like, okay, I'm going to pay the car payment. I'm going to pay the electricity. I'm going to pay the water bill. I'm going to go grocery shopping. I'm going to get the electricity, I'm going to get the car windshield fixed. I'm going to get 6 months of insurance on the car so I don't have to worry about the payments. I'm going to pay off this person that I owe. I'm going to buy this dress that I've been looking at. It really was just everything. And what I did was I was able to sit down after it was written and feel the truth of it paid, all of it. There wasn't one thing that I was worried about, like, oh, okay, well, this is paid, but this isn't. It was fully relaxed, and I cried. I had never allowed myself to feel that before. And I just sat in that safety, that relief, that, oh my God, I didn't even know I was holding all of that worry about money. And I just I celebrated that all of it was paid, because I knew that this money was coming. $10,000. I'd been doing all this work. I deserved it. I was worth it. I was worth not worrying anymore. And I had never, ever felt everything paid, ever. I never even thought I could think about that paid. And then I wrote that in the morning, and then I posted on my TikTok shop, and I attracted the results of having that done because I felt that done. And that was the beginning of it. And then there were steps and steps and steps. The viral videos that we have stemmed from me feeling what it feels like to not have financial worry. And I had never done that before. That was the first step. And then Jorge and I could talk for weeks about all the things that have happened, all of the decisions that we've made, the lessons that we've learned, the things that like seemed so huge at the time and now are just so effortless. And then even the current things that we're learning right now about these things. And we could go on for days and days. But that was the first thing. And then what I will do, I don't have mentorships. I don't have a course. I don't have a program for you. But I do love to talk about this information. This was my passion even before I became a millionaire, even before this stuff started working for me. All I was doing was regurgitating it back to anyone who would listen. Like, you gotta be who you wanna be. You need to make the decision from them. What's your self-standards? What's your self-image? Like, I could talk forever and ever and ever. And so if you are interested in any of this, if any of this sounds like something that you're just like, what are you talking about? Message me. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Maybe some fire cider if you want to purchase for $20 from my apothecary. But as far as this material, I just love to give this knowledge to people. And who knows, one day maybe I will. I don't know. But right now it's just, I've found that I haven't really been talking too much about what I love. And I haven't been talking about this material for a little while, and it's not fun for me. What's fun is to talk about this. I could talk about this forever. Okay. Love you so much. See you later.